Hello, welcome to your 2026 video guideline for labeling. The moment you come into the website, you're going to see a very nice journey section. Once you complete your training, please make sure you set up your payments and you'll be able to start labeling. On the left side, you can actually access the immediate guideline that you're going to be looking for. This training video is going to be located here. And also, you're going to see your certifications that you're going to be having. In the immediate, what you're going to do is start to click on tasks. This is your task page. This is where you're going to see most of your videos come up. You're going to be able to see how many videos you have reviewed and when the payout will be. And also some important things that you want to take note of will be above on the top. So to start off, we're going to see how you're going to actually reserve an episode. By clicking this button, you can reserve 5 episodes, which will give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can go ahead and click any of these episodes and start. I will just click first one. So in this episode, I can see that someone is washing dishes and most likely probably putting it into the drying rack on the side. So let's go over what is inside of this UI. On every single label, these are called segments. On every single one of these labels, we see an edit button. We see a split segment button. And we also see a delete button and a play button, right? I'm going to start labeling all these and making sure that these labels are correct. And we can go from there. And most likely you will see me use every single one of these. First things first, over here, I can actually adjust the speed of the video, how fast I want the video to be, or how slow I want the video to be, and turn off the loop or turn on the loop. I like either using 1 times or 1.25 times if it's a very long timestamp like this one. It's important when you're trying to get very, very granular and actually get every single one of these correct, then it's best to get to the lower times. So let's speed up a little bit and see where this video is going to go to. So the person is continuously scrubbing a plastic container, and then they're probably going to end up putting the plastic container in the sink, or the exact words is place plastic container in sink. And that most likely is going to happen in the 30-second mark. So let's skip closer to there and bring the time down. That's perfect. So I can see that the scrub plastic container is correct, and place the plastic container in sink was also correct. These are, I guess, a coarse and also a varied label at the same time. Hopefully by the end of this video, you will also learn what the difference between a coarse label is and a dense label is. Right. So let's go to the next segment. Pick up black plastic spoon. That's good. The individual did indeed pick up a black plastic spoon. There's nothing I need to change in this. It's a pretty good dense label. So here we have a pretty big dense label. This would be one of the most important things that we need to do before submitting this to go through is we make sure that every action within this dense label is done correctly. And within this, I will also show you how to use the split segment feature and most likely delete segment feature as well. So I'm just going to watch this video and see when the scrub utensil with sponge is going to finish. So let's take a look. I see right up to about here. It's important that when you are doing a dense label, that every single one of the actions are properly being labeled. So I saw that around the 45 or 46 mark, the scrubbing finishes, which would be right here. And I see that the individual puts that sponge down, which is entirely correct. Puts the sponge down and rinse utensil under running water. Yeah, that seems like correct. So what I am going to do is I'm actually going to, just for the purpose of this video, take this specific label out. I will click the split segment. Here I have a slider, so I can see exactly where this video is going up to at one point, and it'll keep the default segment and then also give me a new segment. So I realized that around the 46-second mark, the scrubbing finished, which was right here, 47. 47 seconds, I think, is a good number right there. The scrubbing finishes. We could probably even do one more segment. Yeah, 47 is good. I'm going to click split. So in this new segment here, I have 34.5 all the way to 47. The individual is scrubbing the utensil with a sponge. So that's a correct label. What I have to do now is actually move that label, the rest of this label, out to the one underneath. So I will move this, delete it, save, and come down to the next one and place. Click save. So obviously there is a typo here. So let's fix that. We need to make sure that everything that we are labeling has no capitals, no periods, and is in the correct format that we're requiring you to do. And that's how we create a segment. Now let's see about this delete segment feature. Let's say we actually click this and end up clicking this by accident, and we want to get rid of this. So what we can do is actually click delete. And here we can choose which segment we want to add it to. Do we want to add it to segment 6 or do we want to add it back to segment 4? In this case, I will pick segment 4 and click delete. And here I can see that it's continuously added in segment 4. Let's go back to finishing the very dense label. So the individual puts down the sponge, rinse utensil under water, which is correct. And they're going to put down the utensil. If you do see up here, I actually did, the label here is the black plastic spoon. So what we actually can do is change this utensil to this plastic spoon. Rinse plastic spoon under water, under running water. And eventually they will put down this plastic spoon. Click save. All right, let's see what's the next action in this dense label. So the put down plastic spoon is actually not a very good dense label. Since this is actually a very dense label, what we're going to do is actually going to change this. The put down needs to be place plastic spoon in drying rack. And then the next action that they're going to do is pick up plastic container. So let's go back and double check that. So I can see that they did indeed place plastic spoon in drying rack. That's correct. And with the other hand, they picked up the plastic container, which is correct. And they rinsed it under running water, which is also correct. So let's keep taking a look at this video. So we're still here at rinsing underwater. At one point, they're going to pick up a sponge, which is correct. Scrub plastic container with sponge. Put sponge down and rinse plastic container with water. What I am going to change here is place sponge down and rinse plastic container under running water. Here we go. This is a very good example of a dense label. Let's move on to the next one. So here we have rinse plastic container. It's very good. And place plastic container in dish rack. So I would actually rename this as drying rack place plastic container in drying rack, grab pot and sponge. That's correct. That is entirely correct. Grab pot and sponge at the same time happened. So there doesn't need to be a comma because it happened exactly the same time. And let's see what the next label here is. Pick up red pot and sponge, scrub pot with sponge, put sponge down, and rinse pot with water. That's very good. Once your label is complete, you can click complete here, and it will save. And you can see that that video is now gone from what you had here. So we're just gonna do one more video. I'm not gonna do affiliate. I'm not gonna do the whole video. I'm not gonna label the entire video here, but I do want to go through a couple of very important key points. Let's see if I can. Oh, this is actually a very good video to label. I want to address some things in this. So this person here is wiping a window. Wipe vertical window frame using cloth. I do want to watch this video and see if at any point something other than wiping happens. Just want to make sure of that. This is a great example. The video starts with someone wiping a video, and the video also has the entire video the same way. So this is a very good example. We have only one segment for exactly 2 minutes, 1 minute and 59 seconds of just one segment. Wipe vertical window frame using cloth. This is not a wrong label, and we are going to actually do a very good coarse label on this. The vertical window frame isn't wrong. I personally would not label it like this. I would do wipe window using white cloth, and that's it. The reason why I'm just keeping this and I'm not changing any segments, I'm not adding segments, is because the person is not, in this video, is not picking up the cloth. The segment starts with the person holding the cloth, or in this case, just using the cloth. And all that is happening is wiping the entire window. So this entire 2-minute segment is very good indicator of how this should be labeled. Exactly. And if we go all the way to the end, if that cloth is not placed down, or if that cloth is not dropped, or the windows are not sprayed with any type of liquid, then this is the perfect example of a coarse label. I'm just going to click complete. Let's try a different one. Hold sponge. Okay, so let's try a different one here. Here we have hold sponge. This is incorrect. The hold sponge is actually entirely incorrect. The reason why is because it needs to be rinse sponge under water. Right? That is actually exactly what's happening. If it's hold sponge, then the video would just be the person holding a sponge. That's it. Let's see what the next label is. Apply soap on sponge. I don't see that happening. Rinse sponge underwater is correct. I actually am going to split this segment. So what I'm clearly seeing is, I'm going to slow this down. The person turns the faucet off, and then starts to wipe what is over there on the corner. I don't know if that does look like it's soap. I think that is soap. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually bring this segment. I'm gonna shorten this segment to right before. Yeah, I'm gonna shorten this segment to right before the apply soap on sponge actual part. Because what we are actually going to label is turn off faucet, which is exactly that. And next we have apply soap, and they pick up a spoon and they start scrubbing the spoon. So this is a good label that is entirely wrong. This is a very good example of a label that is entirely wrong. So we're going to do apply soap, and they're going to pick up spoon. We're going to click save. So that is the apply soap section, and that is pick up spoon section. And we're going to trim this so the wiping does not happen. To right here. Let's review. Apply soap, pick up spoon. Perfect. We're going to save that. And here now it is correct. They are washing spoon with sponge. Or in this case, you can use scrub. And you can use scrub, you can use wash, either or works. And I'm assuming that's going to happen all the way up until 13.1. Let's see what happens after. They're still washing the spoon with sponge. Perfect example of where we can use a merge. Yeah. Continuous wash spoon with sponge. And they put the spoon down at the end of here. So here, this is how we're going to label it. We have wash spoon with sponge, and wash spoon with sponge. Now, all of a sudden, we have wash fork with sponge. The missed action here, which is one of the biggest mistakes, is pick up fork. There's no pick up fork here. This is just wash fork, wash fork, wash fork. What we want to do here is make sure we track the object. So we're tracking the object from this, which would be pick up spoon section right here, when they apply soap and pick up spoon. And we need to label exactly when that object is placed down, right? So in this case, it would be placed in, I believe that's a blue bowl on the left side, or yeah. Because I'm not sure what it is, I'm gonna label it as a blue container. So that's wash spoon. I'm gonna merge this with the next label here, merge. So now from here, where the wash spoon begins, I can actually merge this one as well, right? Because this one is still wash spoon, and we're placing the spoon down in this label. So I'm gonna add that in, place spoon in blue container. And I can merge this one with this one. We're going to continue clicking until the merge option shows. And now we have wash spoon from 8 seconds to 17 seconds, and then they're going to wash spoon with sponge and place spoon in blue container. There you go, right? That is a very good example of merge and how merge should be used. What we're just going to do is make sure that we take this to the point that they let go of the spoon. There you go. So I'm going to leave that there. That should be correct. Wash spoon, place spoon in blue container. And they're going to go and pick up a fork. Right? So here we're going to do pick up fork from sink. And then we're going to scrub or wash, used wash previously, wash fork with sponge. There you go. What we can do is obviously merge the rest and go about it this way. Here I see pick up spoon, carry sponge. This is not correct. If we can just say pick up spoon and then wash spoon with sponge, and we can most likely merge these two. There's two ways to do this, and I already covered a dense label and a coarse label. It's also in the guideline. Please go back and read it. But this would be a very good example of how dense label and a coarse label is at the same time. We are washing the spoon with sponge, and we also place the spoon in blue container. I'm taking into account of every single action that is happening within this segment. And also what's very important is that you want to make sure that every segment is treated as what is happening from every action in that segment. Meaning we don't want to say pick up, if for example, this was another fork here, then we don't say with pick up another spoon. We would just say pick up spoon because we're treating this segment as what is happening within the segment. Just want to make sure everybody knows that. And yeah, that is how we do it. I'm just going to click complete on that. We can do that the rest later. Any other important things I need to go over, I will add in. So I want to get back to one very important thing, and that is these are the type of labels that everybody should be doing. If you do see a label that was in the first video that had multiple dense labels in one segment, we do require that each one of those labels be segmented into different times. So in this case, if it's a pick up glass cup and then rinse glass cup and then place glass dish in rack and pick up glass cup, these would require to be, cannot be all put together in one 50-second segment. That's very important. Furthermore, what we want to make sure happens is, I'm going to go through the guideline. Everybody should be reading this guideline, all right? This guideline is the pure truth. Everything you need to know from edge cases is inside of this guideline. I do want to go through a couple of very important things that I did not cover. The most important thing is using hands or fingers as a label. We do not want to refer to a hand as cleaning the cup. Give me 1 second. I'm going to find it really quickly. Here it is. Body parts as tools. So wash spoon with finger and wash spoon with hand is acceptable. However, we do want just wash spoon. You do not need to refer to the individual's hand or finger or their specific body part if you are labeling something similar to this. That's very important. Another couple of important pieces in this would be the no action. I didn't encounter any no actions within these videos that I did. Let's find no action. There we go. If the person or the individual is actually moving through the video as from one place to another place and nothing is actually changing within the actions that they're doing, or even transferring an object from one hand to another hand, does not count as a label. So we don't want to label transfer scissors from left hand to right hand. We'll label if that scissors is going from left hand to the right hand and it's going to that tree to cut a leaf, then we can label use scissors to cut tree, leaf, or whatever the video may be. But most of the other parts, it will be no action. I'm going to find the no action parts and I'm going to go through some of the examples here. So neither hand is touching an item. Hands have disengaged from the object. And the ego is just standing, walking, or looking around. And anything unrelated, like adjusting camera, checking phone, or I did see a video of a cat jumping up on a table. Make sure you can actually delete segments that are not labelable or should be labeled. That's also very important. Yeah. So I'm really happy you guys have been paying attention. And if you have, there is a little bit of an Easter egg. Within one of the announcement pages, you will see a thread called 2026. And within that thread, I did post something. Just go ahead and give it a thumbs up so I know you've been paying attention and you're very enthusiastic and becoming a really good data annotator. And I wish you guys all the best. Happy New Year. Have a great 2026. Take care.